people. Hold on one second. Let me hit. I'm trying to do something a little bit different. I'm trying to go live on for the first time on Instagram and YouTube. We're gonna see how it goes. I'm trying to move up a little bit in the world here and just add to what I'm doing. So we're going to see how this goes. But listen, happy Monday, y'all. Welcome into the building. A lot is going on in these streets, and a lot has been going on. It is so crazy, but legit and literally, hold on a second, I got to pause this. Legit and literally, I could probably, go live or do a video like every 30 minutes. That's how crazy the streets are. That's how crazy and busy the streets are. We could constantly go live. Major changes. I appreciate you, and I am going to do it. Thank you for the tip. I truly appreciate you. Thank you for that. Yeah, expanding the brand. Come on, Raheem. I'm trying to expand the brand over here. Okay, we're doing it. So, who's going into hospice tomorrow? Oh, I just saw your above message. My prayers are with you. My prayers are with you and your family. I'm praying for you. Okay, combat veteran, I'm praying for you. And your wife. Yes. Okay. So listen, guys, expanding the brand over here. We're going to see how that goes. And I'm going to try to, move forward and do some different things. But tonight is Monday night. It's trending topics. We got some stuff to talk about. So let's get into it. And the title tonight is The Decisions We Make. The decisions we make. Yeah, the decisions we make will impact us either in a positive or negative way, but the decisions we make, it matters. So listen, he's not on the docket tonight, but we got to add Tyler Perry. How many of y'all have seen the Tyler Perry movie, Divorce in Black? Now, I watched it. If you got 204 minutes of free time, go check it out. It's a typical, what I'm going to call Tyler Perry production. But I guess I got to lean back some because maybe it's not all of a typical Tyler Perry production because there's a young lady out there that said he stole her work. She said he stole her idea. Now, I ain't going to lie to you. This is not the first time that I have heard of Tyler Perry allegedly being a thief. This is what she said. Diva didn't say this. This young lady said, you stole my work. And yes, major changes. The first 15 minutes of that movie was crazy. And that's pretty much, I think, the most part where that lady's telling him that she stole the work. Because her book is called something about the funeral. So we're going to get into that briefly, initially, about Tyler Perry allegedly stealing people's ideas. Billionaire. A whole billionaire. He can't sit down and come up with no ideas. Or if you want to utilize someone else's ideas, he can't pay these people? Where they do that at? What we doing it? How does that work? We're going to continue on. Okay. This is Justin Jefferson. I'm not a big sports girl, but listen, if it's a trending topic, we're going to talk about it and get into it. So it seems like all of these athletes, the professional ones, and maybe the non-professional, I don't know. But it seems like the professional ones, they keep repeating history over and over and over again. What do we hear? Some girls say they pregnant. What do we hear? It's not my baby. What do we hear? They're forced to take a paternity test. And after the paternity test, what happens? You are the father. You are the father. So this girl sued, of course, for her child support, her paternity, and she said that he told her to unalive the baby. And he pretty much told her, if you don't unalive the baby, And y'all know what I mean. Now, once the baby was born, y'all get it. We can't use certain words over here. He told her to unalive the baby. She said no. Then he said, didn't I tell you to use plan B? She said, I did, but it didn't work. So he told her, well, you on your own then. He said, stop telling your mama to call me. You stop calling me. He said, I ain't got to take care of you. I got to just take care of the baby. Then after the baby was born, I guess she was calling him saying this, that, or what she need, or whatever emotional support she need, or whatever. He said, listen, call your mama. You and your mama take care of that baby, and you get what you get. When will these men wake up and understand that you shouldn't rely on a plan B? You shouldn't rely on somebody else saying they're on birth control. If you're going to be sticking and moving, then you should wrap it up and then stick and move. Now, I don't suggest you stick and move, but if you're going to do it, at least wrap it up. And if I was an athlete and I was a male and I was going to be a hoe in the streets and mess around with all these girls, I would wear 2 condoms. And I don't know, is the plan B, is it a pill? And then after I leave, I'd say swallow this just in case. You ain't gonna be calling me 2-3 weeks later or a month later talking about, oh, I missed my monthly and now I'm pregnant. Say what now? Come on, wrap it up before you tap it. But they going on willy-nilly, they going in raw, and then they suffer the consequences after. You got to pay. So here you are, you the one on that field, you the one getting knocked up, pushed over, trying to make a touchdown, people knocking into your body, and once you get your check after the tax man hit it, then you got all your baby mamas hitting it, and then you wonder why you living next to Diva, and you got $140 million contract. You living next to Diva because you don't know how to wrap it up, and you don't know how to keep it in your pants. So we're going to talk about this Justin Jefferson. Then listen, Frontier Airlines. I heard they sell cheap tickets, but you know that old saying, you get what you pay for? I heard they sell cheap tickets, right, for the airlines, for where you're going to go, this, that, and the other, right? And so, but I also heard that if you buy the ticket for $50, by the time they finish adding up all the fees, we gave you some pretzels, a bottle of water, your bag, your dish, your that, whatever. Now your ticket up to the $259 that you would have paid if you just went ahead and got you a ticket over there at JetBlue. But they get wrapped in, oh, the chicken tea cheap, so they go Frontier Airlines. So Salt-N-Pepa, she from my day. Holler in the chat if you know about Salt-N-Pepa. I'll take your man, push it. They got a lot of great hits under their belt, Salt-N-Pepa. So Peppa, she got her 2 Frontier airline tickets. She wanted both the seats for herself. Because she said she was in a car accident and something happened to her leg, so she got to be stretched out or whatever. So she got her 2 Frontier airline tickets so she could stretch her leg out. And, you know, they boarded her. And then when she got on, they told her something about she can't have them 2 seats. But she paid for them. But this Frontier airline you dealing with. She got kicked off the plane. I think they refunded her $2,500, but she said she lost $500 for this, $400 for that. She didn't get to her meeting, or she did get to a meeting or something like that. But either way, she got kicked off the flight. And they gave somebody else her seat. But see, Frontier does what they do. And when you want to buy a $69 ticket, but now, even though, listen, she said $2,500 they owed her for the 2, I guess, tickets that she bought round trip or whatever. And I think she got back her money. Yeah, Sandy. Sandy. That's her real name. Sandra. Probably call her Sandy Denton. Frontier Airlines. Then she was emotional. She started filming, and they told her, we kicked you off because you was filming. They could do whatever they want, it seems like, in these airlines now. She got kicked off. And then they was mad at her because she was filming. And she asked how she go get a refund. When you want to go somewhere, are you coming home? It don't matter. You just want to take your flight. You don't want no refund. I don't need no refund. I want to go home. I want to go where I needed to go. Now, I ain't trying to be in Salt-N-Pepa pockets, but if she paid $2,500 to get to where she needed to go on Frontier Airline, she should have been on United, JetBlue, Delta, something. No Frontier. But we're going to talk about her story. Then last, I don't know this rapper. I never heard of her until I saw this story. But her name is DaGod. And she's a rapper. She went to promote the opening of a beauty supply store. And listen, she was doing a meet and greet. So she told other people, meet me over here at the beauty supply store. She told the people ahead of time, this is where she's going to be. And she did it on her social medias. And somebody wanted her, obviously. Someone came and they unalived her in the beauty supply store. Young girl, beautiful, gone. Across the board, this senseless violence has got to stop. Violence is at an all-time high now. In New York, people are just losing their mind. They're just pushing people in front of the oncoming train just for no reason. They are slashing and stabbing people for no reason. If you know about New York, you from New York, a lot of times in the subway, you got artists, they just playing, their instrument, or they singing, or they dancing, or whatever, minding their business, trying to get legit money. They just got a little thing open, give them a tip. Just throw a little tip in my bucket. Just throw a tip in my bucket, and they doing their music. One day, this guy was doing the music. I didn't do the story because sometimes there are so many heavy stories. I'm like, okay, who? I'll be like, who? Which one? What am I going to talk about today? I'm like, what am I going to talk about today? And so this woman who out of her mind, she just came out of nowhere and just stabbed this musician. What did he do? He knew nothing of her. He didn't even know her. The violence has got to stop. And they're removing workers from almost everything now. They wanted to remove them out the stores, and that's why they got them self-checkouts, but then they got all this stuff. Listen, to me, you will never replace a human being. You will never replace a human being. That's my thought process. But listen, I could be wrong. I don't think I am, but whatever. But listen, guys, I need to bring the people on in the building. Y'all know what I need in the chat if I'm going to bring the people in the building so we can have this conversation and talk about it. I need a what in the chat, y'all? Come on. I need a choo-choo. I appreciate you, Tay-Tay. All aboard, everybody. It is Trending Topics Monday, and the title is The Decisions We Made. We're going to show you this woman that is hot, pissy mad at Tyler Perry, saying he stole my work. We got this Justin Jefferson, an NFL player, trying to shame the woman and tell her, I ain't got nothing to say to you. Do what you want to, whatever the case may be. I don't care that you got my baby. It is what it is, okay? We got Sandra from Salt-N-Pepa talking about Frontier Airlines did her dirty, and we unfortunately had this DaGod who was unalived, and she was just out there trying to do her thing. Let me bring the people on in the building. Hey, Leo.
Hey, Diva. Choo choo choo.
Choo choo choo. Hey, E. Felicia, Katrina, Savannah. Hey, Wayne. Hold on now. Let me bring the people on. Hey, Julius. Hey, Tay-Tay. Hey, Dustin.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Good. How are you? Okay, so
Good.
let's go ahead and we might as well start with Tyler Perry because girlfriend she's ticked. She's ticked. And let me know if you saw that movie, Divorce in Black.
I didn't see it, David, but
Okay.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
Okay, so it's over there on is it on? It's on. I think it's on Prime.
Okay,
So
I have to watch it after. I have to watch it, Diva.
her book is called An
Look right here, an enemy's funeral. An enemy's funeral. I know you stole my stuff, Perry. You low down, dirty half between the left and half between the right scoundrel. You heard what I said, you scandalous and you dirty. I just want to go on record and tell you, you ain't nothing but a thief. With your wanna be a woman and put on breasts and act like a woman and do things a woman. Cause I know you stole my stuff from this book and put it up in that movie, Divorce in the Black. I know you did. You ain't nothing but a thief. All you do is steal folks' ideas. Don't want to give them no credit for it, and then you go make a movie out of it and make you a profit off of it. And then you want to act like you hipping us, multiply your profits off of us, and then pretend like you our friend. You ain't no friend to us. We tired of you profiting off of us and stealing our ideas. I know you been in my book. You been in my book because I can name stuff from the time that funeral started to the time that funeral ended. I know you read my book when I sent it to you and you sent it back. I know you read it. I know you did. Now all of a sudden you gonna wait all these years like, oh, I'm gonna let time pass by and she ain't gonna know it. Baby, I don't read the scriptures. I'm at the funeral. I know you stole my stuff out of my book. I know this book right here, An Enemy's Funeral. An Enemy's Funeral.
Leo, what did Medea do?
I'm not sure what did Medea do. I'm not sure, but it looked like to me she stole from this woman in her book, The Enemy Funeral. That's what it looked like to me. But I'm not discounting anything that she says because we have heard this narrative over and over again.
Yeah,
Tyler, when the people get finished dragging you from your baby hairs through the social medias, you need to do better than what you're doing. If you don't have ideas and you want to put the Tyler Perry spin on other people's ideas, you need to give them credit for it. Because you look, you cannot. The World Wide Web has stopped this thing of things just being insulary. Like it's just in this little moment. This nobody, I'm quite sure she's a God-fearing woman. She's a very important person. But this person that was not known in the industry sent you a book that you sent back, and then you used a part of her narrative in your upcoming movie. Don't think it ain't gonna come back to bite you. Don't think that. Think that if you're gonna be world class and you got all these studios and all this other kind of stuff, if you run out of ideas, you need to pay the people for their ideas. Okay, if you run out of ideas, you need to pay the people. That's all, Diva. I wish her the best. Good luck.
good luck. Felicia, you're out.
Well, good evening, everybody. Tyler made a worse enemy than Monique and her husband. In 15 seconds or less, she took him to the gutter, down the sewer, and right out there to the middle of nowhere. He better pay her money. She is angry. She said that's her work. And if it's not her work, you need to acknowledge her message and let us know that you're not being accused of theft again, Tyler. It's not the first time you've been accused. You need to clean it up. So we'll see. I'm done.
Thank you. Katrina, you're up.
I don't know if he stole her idea or whatnot, but that woman sure looked like that woman that was at that funeral saying, "Get my son out that casket." And he's a billionaire and he got all that money, but his his actors have some of the worst wigs. But like I said, I don't know if he did it, but I'm looking at that lady and looking at that lady that played that woman in that funeral. They got some similarities. So if he didn't steal it, he making it look like he have. That's all I got, Diva.
I appreciate you. Tay, you're up.
Pay what you owe me. Don't act like you forgot. Where's my money? Because I gave you my book and then you turn into the movie right there. Pay what you owe me, Tyler Perry, and stop stealing people's ideas. Hire them for right for you. Jeez, ain't that hard. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you. Julius, you're up.
Run me the money because she came with a detail and she said, "I sent you the book and you sent it back," and so it now it's making sense. And she says she can pinpoint from point A to point Z back on the home base what was taken from her book. Tyler ain't slick. He ain't slick. Pay her money, Tyler. Stop running.
Wayne, you're up.
You know, if she wrote that book, and I mean, she sounds very convincing to me. But if she wrote the book, I'm sure the book is copywritten. So if the book is copywritten, I mean, she has, I mean, it certainly sounds like something she needs to take to court or something that Tyler Perry needs to address, expeditiously. Because, I mean, the way she says she could tell you what's next. And if I was her, I'd be blowing social media up, Instagram, TikTok, whatever platform she can get on. She may not have the money to take it to court. A lawyer may not take it pro bono, but I would be all over social media. That's it.
I appreciate you. Somebody in the meantime, look up and let's see how much that book costs. I'm gonna have to get another book I ain't ready to read yet. But anywho, I'll get the book. Savannah, you're up.
Good afternoon, Diva. Good afternoon, panel, or evening, where y'all are at. I actually liked the movie. I thought this was one of Tyler's better movies. I was hoping he made it into a series because I think it's a missed opportunity, especially with the and Corey played the heck out of that part. I didn't like him from the beginning. So if this was something that he I don't want to say stole, but used without authorization from this alleged other author, I would have definitely gave her acknowledgement because I think he missed an opportunity to make this into the series, a series. I thought it was rather decent, not one of his regular over-the-top Medea silliness. I mean, it was okay. And if this was her work, I would have came out with evidence of email traffic between them, or her sending the book off to Tyler to read, so that way it automatically gave her credibility on her allegations. So I see some in the chat. So it's called An Enemy's Funeral by Lorraine Duckworth Rogers. It's $17.99. Okay, I'm gonna look it up and see what the reviews are. But I really do think it was a decent movie, and he just missed an opportunity. One, to acknowledge the author and actually make this into a series.
Thank you. Dustin, you're up.
I believe Tyler Perry should pay her money and give her some credit, Diva. I'm the kind of person that give people credit when credit is deserved, and I do believe that credit is reserved for her, and he needs to pay up. So whatever kind of money that she doesn't have, she needs to take him to court, and he needs to pay up right away, or he's going to be in a worse situation. Because I'm not happy with Tyler Perry right now because he didn't pay the money to her.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Dustin. E, you're up.
I'm having difficulties. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Whew. Okay. Sorry. My screen was glitching. StreamYard is just something. I think it's Tyler Perry because he knows I'm not here for it. Listen.
I'm going to beat you, Wayne. Wait, hold on, E. I'm going to beat you, Wayne. But go ahead, E.
I can believe that Tyler use someone else's work without their knowledge. As Leo said, we have heard this before. And just as we've heard the other rumors with the model men allegedly, there are lots of rumors out about Tyler. And speaking of Christian Keys and Tyler, even that show, The Queen's Men, that Christian Keys said that, he wrote and produced, even that came with a lawsuit. Because I remember some woman came forward and said that was her work. That was her writing and her ideas. I think so many people get blinded by Tyler because all of the B-list actors who star in his movies, they come out and say, oh, Tyler Perry is the only person who paid me what I was worth. And then when you look at the credits, because I noticed that with Kelly Rowland, and then Megan Good just said the same thing. And then when you look at the credits, they're listed as producers. So the reason these people are getting extra money is because he has them doing multiple jobs. So not only are you working in the kitchen, you got to go out and sweep the parking lot too. That's what that says to me. But it's easy to see that Tyler would steal because even Miss Sophia in Atlanta said that Tyler Perry came to the comedy show and ripped off her Miss Sophia character, put on a duster and named it Madea. So I believe anytime somebody comes out and says that Tyler Perry stole something, I believe it. Just like if somebody come out and say Trump lied, I believe it. I just automatically believe it. So this is what it looks like. I know you really don't expect me to believe that on every project where it says written, produced, and directed by Tyler Perry, that Tyler Perry actually sat down at his desk, came up with all these dynamic characters and different gender perspectives just from out of nowhere. The Meet the Browns, the sisters, the brothers, the Alex Cross, Madea, 1 through 400, Mia Culpa, The Family That Prays, House of Pain, and now we got Divorce in the Black. That's a lot of stuff that he's just kind of rushed out here. Even though it's not well put together, it's a lot of stuff that you just came off the top of the dome, wrote, produced, and directed. But listen, anybody who writes, anybody who knows about theater and who has studied the craft, and or has an appreciation for the art can recognize that his movies have a lot of slow moving parts. So if this woman, if she's true to her word and that he stole some stuff from her, he probably didn't steal the whole thing. He probably tried to change a few things, because even in the movie I saw, there was a lot of drawn out and unnecessary oppressive moments for women. And it will make any young woman click the hell off from the movie. Nobody wants to sit through a movie with the same old dump your crap on the black woman and then center all of your aggressive and comedic moments around the darkest, fattest woman. And every movie, that's what it is. You have your oppressed woman, you have your hood woman, and then you have your fat and loud black one. And all of his movies, that's the same format with the black women. And I'm tired of it. Cut Tyler Perry off.
Hold on. All right, cut Tyler Perry off. You speaking the truth though. He does have those same characters in every movie. It is very sad, but I'm feeling for this woman. We're going to see how this turns out and pans out, because she's piping hot mad. She's pissed. Okay, we're gonna have to get this book, An Enemy's Funeral, because I did watch Divorce in Black, and she pissed about the name too. Okay, she pissed about the whole thing. So we're going to see. Tyler Perry was an add-on to this conversation, but we had to throw it in because I saw that, come through at the last minute. So I'm going to go ahead and roll into this story with Justin Jefferson. Piece of work, but he's the same. I can't even just say NFL. This is the same story about these athletes. And I'm wondering, at what point do they learn a lesson from their fellow athletes that came before them that are going through the same thing? When do they stop the nonsense? And when do they just do something different? Insanity is when you do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. There are plenty of athletes out there that we already heard this story. There's plenty of people in the entertainment field, excuse me. We have heard this story. When do they stop? So Justin Jefferson is the father of his ex-girlfriend's baby. Judge rules after $140 million NFL star was accused of pressuring her to abort the child. So Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson has been established as the father of a baby girl, according to an order issued by a family court judge in New Jersey. All right, now, though this happened down in New Jersey, in my state. The order was made by Judge Aldo J. Russell on June 26 and obtained by the Daily Mail. States that An interim child support obligation has been agreed to between Jefferson and the child's mother. Her name is Andrea. The specifics of the arrangement were not revealed in the judge filing, which does go on to say that the parents should attend private mediation. As DailyMail.com reported in February, what's her name? Andrea accused Jefferson of pressuring her to abort the child after she became pregnant in 2023. His attorney at the time declined to comment about the accusation in the Daily Mail. Andrea decided to have the child and give birth to Stella in December, according to her paternity suit. Stella is a very cute name. In the counterclaims filed in January, both Jefferson and Andrea requested paternity testing. Andrea also pushed for financial support and health care coverage from Jefferson, who has since signed a 4-year, $140 million deal with the Vikings that includes a reported $100 million guaranteed. Good gosh almighty. The 25-year-old Louisiana State product is also one of the stars of Netflix's new NFL reality series, Receiver, which follows 5 of the league's top pass catchers. There go little Stella and her mama. Look at her mama all dialed up, face beat to the gods to give birth, okay? There she go, because she know that she now has access to a $140 million contract. But you know what? He can't blame nobody but himself. An attorney for Jefferson declined to comment when contacted by the Daily Mail, while Andrea's representatives did not immediately respond to inquiries. Judge Russo's order established a framework for some recent visits, required both parents to remain in contact about the child, and even allowed the All-Pro to have FaceTime conversations with his young daughter as she and her mother made a recent trip to Italy. The order also denied Jefferson's request to prevent Andrea from taking the daughter on that same trip. For the reasons placed on the record, Jefferson's intimate application for an OTSC, order to show cause, to prevent Andrea from traveling to Italy with the minor child is denied, as the court finds that Jefferson has not met the burden of proof to establish immediate and irreparable damage as defined in Crow. So it's another case they had that said, listen, he didn't meet it. So Andrea may travel to Capri, Italy, with the minor child from July 1, 2024 to July 12, 2024. The order continued. By June 30, 2024, Andrea shall provide Jefferson a detailed itinerary, including flight information, locations, and telephone numbers where the child and parent may be reached during the trip. The order goes on to require civil communication between the parents, which must deal directly with each other rather than speaking through intermediaries. All communication between the parties shall be in a non-derogatory, non-harassing manner, only about the health, education, and well-being of the minor child, Russo wrote. That's the judge. A party receiving communication shall respond to that communication within 6 hours or less. Ain't it a darn shame when the judge got to be all up in your business to this level, telling you how to respond, how to talk, how to act? So that's the young lady that had this baby. So Andrea is a University of Miami Law School graduate who previously attended LSU with Jefferson. The two became romantically involved in 2019 before drifting apart and reconnecting in April of 2023. According to her paternity lawsuit filed on January 19, it was in April of 2023 that Andrea claims Jefferson fathered her daughter. In January, filing against Andrea, Jefferson demanded an injunction preventing her from sharing information about the child on social media. Although Andrea remains active on social media, her Instagram page has not featured a photo of Stella since May 5th. Jefferson complaint contained 2023 text messages between himself and Andrea as directed how to handle her pregnancy. So you okay with getting this? Jefferson wrote Andrea in one text message included in his filing. Jefferson also questioned if Andrea used Plan B, also known as the morning after pill, to end the pregnancy. The more you wait, the harder the situation will be. That's why I wanted you to get the Plan B, because I didn't want to be in this situation. But it's totally my fault. I shouldn't have done it in the first place, he wrote in one text message. She showed him the pregnancy test in the messages, okay? And they just get nasty with each other. Andrea responded, Justin, I took Plan B, though it was just too late for it to be effective. Sometimes, depending on the cycle, Unless you take it within 2 hours, it can be too late. And two people are always at fault in this. Personally, I never faced a situation like this. In the filing, Andrea claimed Jefferson pushed her for an abortion. Regrettably, thereafter, the defendant sought to pressure the plaintiff into having an abortion. The filing read, the defendant actively encouraged the plaintiff to terminate the pregnancy, offering to do whatever the plaintiff needed him to do, okay? Upon his realization that he could not persuade the plaintiff to abort the pregnancy, the defendant began acting towards her with great intensity and extreme cruelty. The filing continued. The defendant blocked the plaintiff from communicating with him and coldly told her, talk to me when the legal stuff come up. In one text, Jefferson told Andrea she was annoying him about Stella, forcing him to change his number as a result. If another exchange, Jefferson told Andrea, you wanted the kid, you can take care of it. I tried to tell you this was how it was going to go. You didn't believe me, he later added. Let me see what, okay. Jefferson and Andrea were previously close, according to her filing. And he even stayed at her mother's in New Jersey home for 2 weeks during the undergraduate days of LSU. Andrea, a former swimmer with the Tigers, graduated from Miami Law with honors in 2023 and is just embarking on a legal career while taking care of her daughter with the help of her own mother. So, this ain't an unfamiliar story. Leo, your thoughts?
It definitely is not. And I pretty much am ambivalent to it pretty much, because he has been very clear that he did not want this child. So you can't expect an emotional connection with him and this child, but at the same time, this still is your child, and you are still responsible for the care and the upbringing of this child. I feel like I don't know what their relationship was prior. I see that they say that it was close. What I'm saying, what I don't know about, they probably had never had a conversation about childhood or a child being produced, because it's obvious that they weren't using protection. So I feel this way. I feel like you walk down a slippery slope as women when you have children with men who do not want to have children. That's one. It's another thing to ask a woman to unalive a child, which is a very difficult thing to do just because you don't want the responsibility of a child. And that's the word, responsibility. If you don't want a responsibility of a child, then you need to have responsibility in the front end, because what you want is based upon that individual. So at me as a woman, if I don't want children, and that is what I do not want, then it's my responsibility to make sure that doesn't happen. If you are a man and if you don't want children, the responsibility is on you to make sure that does not happen. So now that the child is here, you are responsible for that child. I told you I didn't want. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. That's what you said. But the child is here. The child is here, and the child still need to be taken. Baby need milk. Baby need food. Baby need a place to stay. Baby need lights on. Baby need health care. Baby need schooling. And it's on you, player. You done signed that $140 million contract. If you weren't about that life, then you should have acted like in the beginning that you were not about that life.
Come on now. And listen, $100 million is guaranteed.
It's guaranteed.
She hit the lotto.
So if you ain't want to split it with no baby mama, then you should have acted like you didn't. But you around here living in, loosey goosey, spreading it wide, then this is what comes of it. It's a hard lesson to learn. Wrap it up next time. Do the clip. Do something, but you're gonna have to pay for this child. And it's unfortunate, and this is an old scenario.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. I hope in the future that this man matures. He is willing to be a part of his children's life, because this ain't the last time. He right here making a baby as we speak.
Yeah, well, hold on. Ooh, child. Listen. Just that's his NFL money. Didn't they say he part of a Netflix series? Oh, she gonna be living sweet, her and Stella. Now I feel for Stella because it don't seem like she gonna get to meet her daddy.
She won't get to meet her daddy, and that's her mama fault too.
Oh damn.
That's her mama, because she chose him. She chose, when you lay down, you choose him. And we ain't gonna talk about that right now. But when you lay down, you choose him.
That's facts. That's facts. That's facts. I appreciate you. Felicia, you're up.
Hey, I'm gonna continue on where Leah was. Yeah, when you lay down, you're taking all the risk. Okay. So one piece of that story that I think is key here.
Okay, I'm
is
listening.
that what's this guy's name? What's his name?
Justin Jefferson.
Justin.
Justin
went and was living up in that girl mama house.
Yes, he did. Now, come on. Now, you better come on down. Get to the details. Tell it.
I know some of you know from what I say, but you don't know. No, but I have sons, and they weren't raised to be laying up in no whole house and her whole mama house. No, 2 weeks. What do we got going on here? So mama signed on. Sound like there's no father in the household.
Oh my God.
Just these two.
Mm-hmm.
And they need money because they know you got promise. They know you got talent. We saw you at the University of Miami playing. They know when the scouts are coming for you. They know long before graduation day, because it may not be a graduation day, but you're going to get drafted.
You better talk to the people, Felicia.
So she said, my raggedy, no good, trifling trash boyfriend ain't got no place to stay. Let him stay here, baby. And he stayed there. And then for some reason they break up and they don't see each other for a whole year. And then they have a one-night stand and she becomes pregnant. Oh, Justin, you stupid. You done spent all this time up at the University of Miami, which happens to be a very good college. I don't know what you weren't studying, but you wasn't getting any kind of knowledge. You wasn't getting the street knowledge. You wasn't getting the common sense knowledge. You must have been focusing everything on that football and not paying attention to the rest of your life. But no, he got played. So shout out to this chick and her mama. They played him and they played him well. I'm done.
Oh, he got. All right. But you done some good facts there. I hope y'all heard it. Katrina, you up? He was up in her mama house. That's why the mama was so familiar with calling him. Because he said, tell your mother to stop calling me.
But she fed his poor whatever when he ain't had no place to stay. Okay. He was homeless on the streets. He ain't even got no family. He's just stupid all the way around.
Special K said Justin is a user too. But y'all telling it. Go ahead, Katrina. Good gosh. I hope y'all catching this, y'all. Catch it. Catch the message. Go ahead, Katrina.
Well, he didn't wrap it up. Now he got caught up. The thing of it is with him and her, like everybody said, Leo and Felicia said, she knew what was coming. She knew exactly what was going to happen. He was the stupid one because he knew that he didn't want a child. So you should have made sure you did what you had to do so you wouldn't get a child. You understand this lady listening to you when you telling her you don't want to have no children, and she's looking at you as a money grab. You fell for the okie doke and not her. And the thing I get is the kid. I feel sorry for the child. You bringing a child into this world that's not wanted by the father, but you using the child as a cash thing, which I'm not saying she is, but I'm just saying it's guaranteed that child's gonna get money. And he sat up and told you he didn't want a child. So why in the world would you even want to bring a child in this world that a father that don't even want it? That's ridiculous and sad. And you knew this, but you did it for the money. Because I'm not saying she didn't take the plan B or she didn't do the unaliving of a child, which we know that's a hard thing to do. But when a man sit up and tell you, I don't want this child, and you still go around, he's telling you he didn't want kids, and you still laid your tail down there and got that child, which, like I said, I'm not just blaming her, I'm blaming him as well, because, like I said, he didn't wrap it up. Now he got caught up. And what I'm saying is the child is one going to suffer because, yeah, you may have the money, you may go to the schools, you may have the clothes, but you don't have that father's love. And then another thing, how he going to be so strict about where the mama taking the child when he just said he didn't want a child?
You better say that,
I'm
Katrina.
just saying, he said he's getting mad because he's going to what,
Italy.
Capri or whatever, but he didn't want a child. So why are you getting mad about where she taking the child? Why should that even be a factor in you when you don't even want the child? This is crazy. You want to
He
have
love that baby.
something. That's what I'm saying. But he want to have something over the child, over the woman, over the lady. No, he just mad because she's probably not the woman that he wanted to have a child with in the first place. But she was the one that got caught. That he got caught up with him because, like I said, you don't want this child, but you worry about where this child is going. Make that make sense. Like I said, he didn't wrap it up. Now he caught up, and that's all I got.
I appreciate you. Tay, you're up.
First, rule number one, don't ever bring a boy to the house in your mama house. Two, shouldn't have a bumping and grinding when you was in the room with your mama in the house. That our strict parents always have made sure what you call it, supervise on the children, make sure they ain't doing what they ain't supposed to do in the house. Make sure they study. Make sure they say good night and goodbye. Know the curfew. At 3, yeah, you should use a protection. You should use protection. And these guys don't care what they do to the girls. They get pregnant, and then now she see the dollar sign, the bing, ka-ching, ka-ching, right there. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you. Julius, you're up.
Jeez, I thought Raw and Islam was running rampant in the LGBT community. It's running rampant in the hetero community too. Folks out here just being foolish and not thinking with their heads, not thinking of the long-term consequences. It won't hurt to put on a rubber. It won't hurt. Things like this can be prevented. And both of these young people, both of these young folks is stupid. They both wrong. And it sounds like she didn't want a baby either. Because she didn't do nothing really to prevent it. Neither did he. They were both being foolish. Both being reckless and irresponsible. Now there's an innocent baby here now. And it has to be raised. Probably, I hope not, but probably going to fall through the system and so forth. But I hope not. Because both of the child's parents chose to be idiotic and foolish. Gee whiz, get some common sense.
Thank you, Julius. Wayne, you're up.
They say, I think I heard somebody mention on the panel one time that at certain ages that, young people's minds aren't fully developed. The young men's minds aren't fully developed. I'm sure he was probably in his 20s. Okay. Mm-hmm. And to have listened to a woman, maybe she said, I'm going to do this, I'm on birth control or whatever. So in taking her word for it, you feel you're okay. And this is what happens, I think now that that child is here, I think he loves the baby. I think he loves him, loves her. Unfortunately, like Katrina said, it didn't come the way maybe he thought or whatever, or this wasn't the one. But my hope for him is that he can get some kind of professional guidance, male guidance, somebody maybe retired in the NFL field, somebody, but some professional male guidance to guide him through this, because this is his child and he's going to have to participate financially and hopefully, as a father to this child. Okay, he's going to need, he's going to need a lawyer, to make sure that the child gets what she needs and not more than what she needs, like the mother and the grandmother, because I'm sure she's going to try to get her little, get something in there, But even with that, to let a young man come up in your house like that, you knew what you were doing. Okay, whether they thought he was going to be a millionaire or not, this man is college educated. And what is your daughter? It's
A
a come
lawyer.
up.
She's
It's
a
a come
lawyer.
up. A college graduate. That's a come up. That's telling me that you're about something. You're going to do something with your life. So I just hope he gets some kind of professional help to kind of guide him through this, because he may get married, fall in love with a woman, somebody he wants to live with the rest of his life, and that child's going to have to be incorporated in that life. Because this is going to be, a good 20 years. And then if you're a good father after that.
Thanks, Wayne. But let me just add this in case people miss this in the conversation in the reading there. He said, "You wanted this baby. You take care of the baby. You and your mama." At the end of the story, it said she's taking care of the baby with her mom. He also, because court order saying, to see the baby FaceTime. I'm not trying to be funny here. This baby, it's a baby. What is he saying to the baby on FaceTime? He didn't say nothing to that baby on FaceTime. And the girl went to school too. I don't know if she took the bar yet, but she went to school to be a lawyer. Savannah, you up?
A couple years ago, and I had to applaud him for doing this, and I immediately thought of when Deion Sanders brought Brittany Renner to come talk to his team at Jackson State, because he wanted to prepare them what was for these young men for things on and off the field. And I don't know much about this story, but there seems to be many of these cookie cutter stories of beautiful young women having children by athletes who have these big contracts, and they are now secured for the next 18 years. Because yes, you may be studying law, but is that her profession? I thought she was some type of Instagram, TikTok model or something. I saw, not necessarily her pursuit of a law degree was their first mention of her, but and I applaud Deion for trying to educate the players on the game between men and women, especially at their age and at their stages in life, especially if they're candidates to get these large contracts, because not many of them are like that. And then when they do get these large contracts, women, because I have seen them myself. I've actually seen some this past week in Miami. These young girls are still out there on the prowl parading, just looking for a solid 18 years of steady income, of large income. So, and I also think that franchises such as the NFL, I know the NBA does it a little bit more than the NFL, but teams don't really get involved and try to discipline players as they should. I think the commissioner definitely needs to take a larger role in it. Because I think last week, Diva, you had a story about a player who was on his 10th child. And these things are just getting more and more ridiculous. But it's not just about these young men producing children out of wedlock, but they're also out there doing things that are. I just read about Dante Stallworth, pled guilty to a DUI, manslaughter, ran someone over, but because the person was did not use a crosswalk to cross the street, Stallworth got off with a technicality and only served a month in jail. So these young men have the finances to pay lawyers and it cost him a lot of money to get out of trouble, but nonetheless he did, and he is back out there trying to get back in the league and do, and it's unfortunate. They're talented, but they don't have any male role model that can guide them. So I applaud Dion for doing what he did to his team and let them know that, these young women and both and men, sometimes they're out there and they're prowling and they're looking for that solid come up. But these men, these young men definitely need some guidance. So I think the coaches need to definitely play a larger role in keeping them in line, whether it's fathering children out of wedlock or just keeping them out of jail cells.
I appreciate you. My screen shifted a lot, but I think you're the last person to go. I think I got to everybody else except you.
Well, there's so much I want to say. Face full of makeup and lip injection 7 minutes after giving birth. Go ahead, sister. It's going to be more stories like this to come in the future. Because the Republicans are discussing the banning of contraceptives. And as we all know, Roe v. Wade was overturned. And he's fussing about the day after pill. Forget that. It's done. Okay. Once you make your deposit, it's done. So it's going to be a lot more black men down at the enforcement office fighting for their freedom. And I don't mind seeing it because they never learn. They get a few commas in their bank account and they think they're Tom Cruise and Justin Timberlake. They think they're invincible. And somebody in the comments said, rich men should ask for primary custody of their kids. And I immediately got irritated. And that's why I don't look at the comments. I get so sick of hearing rich men should seek custody, or men in general should ask for custody. That's beginning to become a pattern in this country. Whenever we ask for financial support or an increase in financial support, the men and the male identified women say, just give the man custody. Let him take the baby. Now, why on God's green earth would I give up my baby who I love and who I built up all my strength and resources to deliver? Why would I just shut up and hand my baby over to some man just because he doesn't want to pay child support? That's dumb. I want people to stop saying that. That is so dumb. Unless the mother is unfit or neglectful, to even suggest a mother should give up custody to lessen the burden of a black man paying child support, you have lost your mind. And then it was said, well, he loves the baby. He doesn't love that baby. He doesn't even know that baby. How can you know a baby from the phone, the FaceTime? The baby not even looking at that damn phone. Are you kidding? The reason he responded like that, because Katrina touched on a good point. Why did he ask about making a big deal about the baby going to Italy? The reason he responded like that, and this is my belief, you don't got to take my word for it. Who the hell am I? The reason he responded like that in his answer, and when he was trying to keep her from going to Italy, is because he wants to, how can I say this? This was a stunt just to mess with her because he doesn't give a damn about that baby. It was to inconvenience her. Mm-hmm. His mindset is, you inconvenience me, now I'm going to inconvenience you. That's why in the text he wrote in all caps, I told you it was going to be like this. This is a whole kid. He wrote that in all caps, meaning it's a lot of work. Then he said, go ask your mama to help you. It's no love from him to her. I want everybody to be clear, because when we say, he loves her, I think it gives people who may be unaware and less experienced in life really thinking that men who love you will treat you this way. It's not true. It's no love from him to her. This is psychological warfare. He is saying, I hate you. That is what he's saying. And I want you to know I hate you. And I'm going to throw a curveball your way every chance I get. Folks be so quick to call women bitter, but the men be bitter too. Now, back to this story really quick, 10 seconds, because I know you want to get out of here. Andrea said in the text, if you don't want to meet your child, that's on you. But I cannot believe that the man I knew would be this heartless. I believe she said something to that degree. I'm paraphrasing, but it's standard. If it hasn't happened to every woman in this chat, it's happened to a woman you know. That's how we talk when we're discussing our parenting agreement. If the pregnancy is unplanned and we're not married, and we have to figure some things out. So this is not an isolated script here. Shout out to Tyler Perry. And if you steal this for your next movie, Tyler, I'm suing you. But his response to her was, and everybody needs to catch it, you don't know me. So, translation, I was sleeping with you raw. I was homeless and you moved me into your mother's house, but you really don't know me like you think you know me. I am a stranger to you. That is what he is saying. It's already a memory in his mind. You are a means to an end. He's saying, I used you. I don't even like you like that for real. And now I don't need you no more because I made it. That's what that means. And the twist of the knife in the back, because I looked at that text message, I took a screenshot when you showed it on the screen, was the 2 laughing emojis afterward.
Yes, it
Plus,
was.
he said, don't call me until it's time to handle the legal stuff. And then the Negro changed his phone number.
Yes, he did. You talk to the people. Talk to the people.
I want us to be clear about what we're looking at. We say when they make it to the NFL that these agents and these managers need to help groom them and do the fathering. It's too late by now. This is a 24-year-old person. If he doesn't have empathy for a human life, if he doesn't know what that thing between his legs can produce and what he should do after that production has been made, and if he doesn't have that type of humanity in him, I don't care who your manager is. I don't care if Farrakhan was your manager. It's a lot of this foundation starts early. It starts early. And he's eventually, because he is successful, he'll get him another off-color wife, and he'll start a whole new family with a whole new set of kids. And the only person who's going to be inconvenienced, because he'll pay his child support, but the person who's going to be inconvenienced is that baby, because this aspiring attorney, she's going to get her child support and live her best life, her and her mother, but that child is not going to have a father. So that's all I want to say on that.
Woo, well, you said a lot, and I appreciate you. This is a hot mess. This is a hot mess. But he did say all of that to her, and he did want to inconvenience her, because I'm like, you told her to go take care of that baby with her mother. Why are you trying to stop her from going to Italy? For what? Now I got to FaceTime you, give you my whole itinerary, told you we about to go across the street to the ice cream shop. Why? You don't care. And you told me to stop calling you and bothering you with this little stuff.
Girl, you know, I know what it looks like.
Girl. So we're going to go ahead and roll into this next story. Salt-N-Pepa. Somebody out there, y'all name all the Salt-N-Pepa songs if you know them. Come on, push it. Okay?
What a man.
What a man, what a man, what a mighty good man. Come on now. Drop it in the chat, y'all. We're going to bring up this Salt-N-Pepa story. Okay, so Peppa, she said, you know, Frontier Airlines did her dirty. They did her dirty. We're going to get into this. Let me go. Oh, I'm sorry. Was it Frontier or Southwest? I'm sorry, y'all. I kept blaming Frontier. Oh, y'all got to forgive me. I done dog Frontier out. And apparently it's not Frontier. It's Southwest. Okay, y'all. Forgive me. Okay. Peppa from Salt-N-Pepa kicked off Southwest flight. I brought 2 seats. Ended up with none, she said. Okay. So Sandra Peppa Denton was left grounded in Vegas this AM after Southwest Airlines crew deemed her a safety risk on their flight. The Salt-N-Pepa rap legend tells CMZ Hip Hop she was on a flight from Las Vegas to Nashville for a meeting, a flight she takes frequently because it's the only direct one. Now let's look at a Peppa situation. This was a situation.
From Southwest, and I'm injured only and I bought 2 tickets. I have 2 passes, right? They want to know if I could get the wheelchair now, even though I needed a medical assistant today. I was injured. I just got injured, y'all. How y'all doing? So these people took me off the plane, brought this other man on the plane, and took me off the plane. Well, just tell me the reason taking me off now.
Start from the beginning where it started from. If you want to go from there.
You said that I needed a brace.
So once you got on the plane, I asked you why did you need the second seat? You weren't wearing your brace or anything like that. Southwest has a customer size policy, so you weren't encroaching on the second side. But then later on, once you put your brace on and had your second one,
it was fine, and you apologized.
Right.
So then you came back, and now
you were filming everybody, and then that was
no, I wasn't. I was talking to my assistant. I wasn't filming. This is my first time filming, actually.
If that's how you feel, but I need you to get off the jet bridge.
Because I started filming. I just want to be clear on my kickoff of the Southwest.
I understand you feel wrong, but I need you to get up to the jet bridge just so for your safety. And
this is the other one, y'all. She came and brought another man and put him in my seat. Don't talk me like a dog, man. Told myself, come on. You go ahead. I can walk, ma'am. Thank you. Now you want to rush me off, then, and I was. But you don't even know the reason. You don't need to know, right? Is that what it is? You don't need to know, right? Is that just tell me? You're the head and you don't need to know the reason. You just need to just know that I got to get off. You don't even know the reason why they're kicking me off. What's your name? Because I'm reporting everyone. Tell me your name.
Hey, Skyler.
Say your name. You owe a name. Look, I shouldn't have got off. The only reason I got off, y'all, because of the other passengers. I wasn't FaceTime. I wasn't filming it. I was on FaceTime with my assistant. They thought I was. The only time I was when they were removing me. I needed to know because so I could articulate it back.
I'm not going to go into detail because that was the crew's decision. I wasn't there.
See, that's what I'm saying. So who's responsible?
Right into our customer relations office if you would like more information that way, and they can compile reports from all the parties involved. But beyond that, there's nothing much I can do for you.
Where's the refund of the 2 tickets? I'm so upset. They got me with tears in my eyes because I'm so angry.
I think this was messed up and sad. I believe in the beginning of my story, I said Frontier. So forgive me, Frontier. I meant to say Southwest. So due to a previous knee injury from a 2018 car crash, she paid for 2 seats and used the services of a greeter for the wheelchair assistance. Once seated on the plane, Peppa says a flight attendant informed her she wasn't allowed to have both seats because she wasn't in the cast. But I paid for both seats, so how am I not allowed to have both seats? She was wearing a knee brace, though, because of the knee injury. After some back and forth, the flight attendant allowed Peppa to keep the 2 seats she had paid for as her knee brace was in her possession. Shortly after, a man arrived and asked Peppa to give him her second seat, claiming he was headed to a funeral. While explaining to the passenger the extra seat was because her injury, other passengers began arguing if she gave up the seat or keep the seat or keep it because she paid for it. If she should give up the seat or keep it because she paid for it. Peppa tells us she asked the man if he would swear he truly was going to a funeral, and he refused. Somehow, he still got the seat. She called her assistant on the phone and suggested she should be recording the whole ordeal. But after a few minutes, she was removed from the plane with no reason given. After she got off the plane, Peppa says Southwest told her she was removed because she was recording and they didn't feel safe flying with her. Although, for the record, Peppa says she never actually recorded on the plane. Now she was able to reschedule her meeting in Nashville, and Southwest reimbursed her the $2,500 for her 2 seats. The bad news is she is SOL for the $300 she paid for the greeter and $500 for the car service she never got to use. Southwest tells TMZ Hip Hop that initial reports from the teams indicate Peppa did not respond to crew members' instructions and denied her boarding to ensure the safety and comfort of other passengers. Peppa tells us she certainly be exploring her legal options regarding any potential ADA violations towards flyers with disabilities. According to her, Southwest agents attempted to move her in the bulkhead into the bulkhead emergency row which she declined. Remember, her boarding passes were marked disabled, so if there were an emergency, she couldn't assist. Oh, shucks. I think they in trouble, Southwest. Y'all let me know your thoughts. Leo, you're up.
They are in trouble, Diva. They are in trouble because her flight, her seat was marked as she was disabled. But this is the thing, right? Like Julius say, you fluff around and find out. They did not know who exactly she was. And she did not stunt on them. Right. Because they probably wouldn't have known. But at the same time, you don't know who you screwing over, because that's exactly what they did. Because I don't give a darn about any of that ish they talking about. She paid for 2 tickets. She paid for 2 tickets.
Yeah.
So I don't understand, if you pay your money, how is it you got to give up your seat? Now, if they would have approached her and say, I know you pay for 2 seats, we're going to give you your money back for this seat that you have already paid for and give it to this customer, that was one thing. But the customer show up telling these lies about a funeral to get her seat. They did not approach this right. And it's something called a sinkhole when it comes to airline tickets. Okay. And what the sinkhole means is that they layer their responses to an unfortunate incident through the layers of staff. So the steward had told her that she had to leave. That gentleman, he really honestly does not know why. They tell him to take this person off or tell them to give up their seat. He does not know why. The next person, the next up-level management, they actually have been given the word as well to back up the steward and say a person has to leave, and they don't even know the reason why. And it is called plausible deniability, that everybody's just doing their job, which she reacted in the way of everybody's doing their job. She ain't cussed the people out. She ain't spit on them. Nope. She ain't try to fight on them, because she herself, with her good mind, knew that these people was just doing their job without explanation, because they had no explanation to give her. And they do that on purpose. So anybody who's ever been kicked off a flight, or you've been bumped off the flight, for whatever reason, you try to talk to all the people, you say, get your the supervisors don't even know why. They do that on purpose. And you do sign the paperwork that you can get bumped off for any reason.
What's funny though is
when you accept that flight.
Yeah, he told her though, it's because you was filming.
But she wasn't filming. He came up. He came up on. He told her. Yeah, he did. He came up with that on the fly. That he did that to himself.
He did.
He wasn't told a reason.
Well, good. Help her get her money from Southwest, because that was messy. Because I'm filming something and you scared of me. You want to protect.
And she was smiling the whole time.
She was.
So she's from New York. She about that life. She can get in on you, but she done been in the public eye and done been trained by PR not to get that way. That's old school, though, just filmed it.
That's old school though, ain't it? Because these new ones, they got in their mind. Because the other one, remember she was fighting in the plane. I think her name was Glorilla. Remember she had a whole fight up in the airport. Yeah. You know how to handle it. You said that. Thank you, Leo. Q. If she paid, that's what I couldn't understand. If she paid for them, she could have stuffed a stuffed animal in one. It is hers to do whatever she wants with it. No explanations necessary. Thank you, Priscilla. You said sexy red. It was sexy red. You see, I'm messing everybody up now. I don't call Southwest Frontier Airlines. All right, now come on now. She paid for it. I don't get it. Yeah, just so Miss Diva, but she is still out of money. She paid for the car service and the special service. Darn, I feel like they owe her. Felicia, you're up.
But one more thing though, Diva, she gonna get her money back because this has gone social media public and all the things that she paid, her amenities she paid for, she gonna get her money back, and she probably will get some more.
She needs to. I appreciate you. Thank you. Go ahead, Felicia.
I will also add that she will get an apology from Southwest. Yeah, so I like her poise.
Yeah, yeah. Come on now.
Yeah, and she's so kindly asked for the agent's name. The agent kept walking. Well, she's going to regret that. At minimum, she should have escorted Miss Denton off the bridge and to the terminal. And she walked ahead of her like, I can't be bothered. Oh, no, that is unacceptable. I would strongly advise that she just fly first class next time wherever she wants to go. I have a sense that what happened was once everybody boarded and they did a head count, they saw they had an open seat because she didn't indicate she had a disability.
But it was on a ticket though, Felicia, she said.
Yeah, but they do a head count. Mm-hmm. And they probably had somebody out there paid a whole lot of money for that ticket, said whoever passed away or whatever to get that person on. And they looked at her, and I'm not one to get into, ethnicity and gender and all those other things, but we know how that can go sometimes. So they see the sister sitting there and they figure it's okay, this person could come, and she says, no, I paid for 2 seats. So that was the error of one of the flight attendants because they counted her seat as empty and her seat was not empty. And I know this, I know they count because let's say you travel with a small pet and you buy your pet or your emotional pet that seat is counted. It is not empty. So somebody miscounted the seats and that person probably got let go and they're going to have to do better. So she's probably, unfortunately, is going to get some free flights. Maybe she'll give them away if she can, but I doubt if she'll want to fly with them again. They didn't treat her well at all. And I'm sorry for that.
They didn't. So how do they count it though if I buy 2 seats and they just for me? So when I'm buying these 2 seats, because you know how you got to put your name in and everything, saying who is this ticket for?
She probably only gave 1 boarding pass. How you?
So she had both of them in her hand.
Right, but she probably only gave 1.
Okay,
they always do a count before they close out. They count those heads. They count how many people, right? And see, I would love to see her boarding pass. Does she have her name twice?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to ask you.
That's why when you have a medical disability, you tell them beforehand. So they probably would have given her an extra room row or something like that initially. If she had come on with a wheelchair, let's say, they would have said, the person who would have escorted her up there with the wheelchair would have said she has those 2 seats, but she didn't have that. I saw her walking up and down. She walked herself on. So it gets a little hairy. And she wasn't treated well either way.
She wasn't. But $2,500, I'm thinking she could have had a first class ticket. But
absolutely,
from what I remember from Southwest, they don't have sections like that. It's just, everything is open.
I would have flown somebody else or a private carrier for 20.
Oh, you and me both.
I know that's right, girl, because we know how to travel. Come on now.
Katrina, you out?
Yeah, she got a raw deal on that one. And yeah, because Southwest, you can just sit anywhere. They don't have like first class or anything like that. It's like you just pick a seat. If you get up there, you get that one, what we used to call it first class, but it has a lot of leg room. But they don't have first class seats. It's like you just board and you just sit anywhere. But yeah, they did her wrong. If I paid for 2 seats, those are my 2 seats. And yeah, they did a head count and saw that seat was empty, but not knowing that the seat was already paid for. Because when they get on it, they count your heads, not the people that's sitting in the seat. So they seen an empty seat and probably called back and said that seat is empty. But the thing of it is, if she paid for 2 seats, that was her 2 seats. Um, she should be reimbursed. They treated her like crap, even telling her to come on. She said, "Don't tell me to come on like I'm a dog." They did her wrong, and
Mhm.
hopefully, and I know she was in a car accident and it messed up her BBL too at one point. So she's been through a lot. But either way, I paid for 2 seats. This is what I paid for. This is what I should get. And then I get kicked off of your plane after me paying for 2 seats? No, ma'am. So yeah, she should get her justice. And I hope she will. That's all I got, Diva.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Tay, you're up.
I hope she sued them because pay what you owe me, though. I ain't let you even forgot. I want my money that I paid for those 2 seats. Don't play with me. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you, Tay. Julius, you're up.
They thought they can get over on her
Yeah.
because she was an African American woman traveling alone.
Talk about it.
Especially that bimbo walking back towards the plane. She thought she can dismiss her like a peasant.
Yeah.
And listen, Peppa is known to get rowdy if she is provoked.
Mm-hmm.
She is known. But I'm telling you now, the way she conducted herself. I heard in that video 3 different standpoints that they said, "Oh, you was video we fear you. We was fearing for our safety." But she's like, "Did I threaten you? Was I hostile towards you? Was I violent?" And the guy was like, "Well, no, it was just because of the fact that you was recording." And she was like, "No, I was on the phone with my assistant." And she looked like she was showing him the FaceTime icon, because these phones you could show the recent things. And so he had to come up with a different excuse. And that other bibbo, like, telling her, like, let's go right now. Who are you? Just because we was on the bridge, it don't matter. You not gonna talk down to me like I am a peasant and expect not to get exposed for your derogatory behavior. And so she knew what she had to do in that moment. And she got across what she needed to get. She was a paying customer. $2,500 isn't no easy piece of change. Not for the train, not for the bus, not for a car service, and especially not for no plane. And if she had it on her documentation that she was disabled, yes, it was already in their system. Whatever plane you get in on, they check your thing as soon as you open the door. I don't like to fly, but I have flown. And yes, they do head counts and stuff. Even then, they should have asked her, "Ma'am, are you okay? Can we possibly use the seat?" They thought that they was just going to punk her. Thank goodness she had her tickets, and she showed us the ticket. She showed it to us. And even when she showed us the ticket, the 2 boarding passes, the guy had nothing to say. He had to come up with something else to say. And you see the bimbo, all she can garner is, let's go now, move it. And she was just like, "I'm just looking for answers here. I just wanted to know what the answer was. That's all."
Yeah. Yeah.
And it wouldn't have had hurt for the lady to give her name. But either way, her actions showed she wasn't being professional. She screwed.
Yeah, she's screwed.
That whole yeah.
Mm.
I think we're missing some truths to this story because as I heard another panel member say that Peppa can get mouthy and kind of rowdy, and that's why we actually love her so much. But if she bought two seats outright, um, I'll be damned. She could have done whatever. She is the owner of those two seats for that flight. But reading up on some of the notes on that incident, it appears that before that she was removed because of a safety. She was deemed a safety hazard, and I immediately think of the other 140 passengers on that flight who are trying to get to their destination, um, and of the people who are not comfortable flying, and who have fear. I know I have some friends who are, they're not comfortable flying. They'll have to take a relaxer or something, or a couple drinks before they can get on a plane because they're so nervous. And then when you have these incidents, they do not help. Does she might have a claim against Southwest? I've never traveled Southwest, but I didn't think that there was any first class as well on Southwest. I thought that was first come, first serve. I always heard it was like a step up from Spirit. I don't travel Spirit either, but I haven't heard any good from them as well. But being boisterous or combative with the staff that's trying to get that plane off, away from the run on the runway and get going. Um, I just think that this situation, they can come back and just say that her behavior deemed her a safety risk, and that's why they removed her. So, unfortunately, Pepper might have some explaining to do herself, and it might not be as an easy case as she had hoped. Because when you're up in the air or about to get up in the air, we're at the mercy of those crew members who are operating the airplane to get us safely to our next destination. So um, the last thing we need is an incident on the plane. So she should have been removed if she was being deemed an unsafety risk. So I just think we're missing a lot from this story, and a lot of truths from both sides.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I hear you, Savannah. I think the only truth we're missing is from their side. And I think they took her as I don't know what they took her for, but all the interaction we saw, she was calm, and he wanted to tell her when she was recording, you need to start from the beginning. So she let him tell the story from the beginning, and he ain't tell us nothing. If more would have happened, I think he would have told her you was on the plane being unruly, this and that. The only thing he came up with is we thought you was, and he even told her, well, I'm sorry if you wasn't really filming. But anyway, we didn't feel safe with you. Why you ain't feel safe? Because I'm black? I mean, I don't even go there. Y'all know I don't do that on the channel. But what made them feel so unsafe? She wasn't even yelling or screaming now. Now, if he would have said when you was taping and you was yelling and screaming, and that's why we felt unsafe. Now, she did say the passengers started to have a conversation when they came and put in her seat somebody else. And they was deciding, should she give up her seat? Shouldn't she give up her seat? Because she did pay for it. And I'm sure there was a conversation because she told the man, swear that you going to a funeral. And so maybe she would have been kindly gave up her seat if she really believed this man was going to a funeral. So maybe it got messy on there, but it wouldn't have got messy if you didn't bring somebody to my seat. So in this case, I'm not charging this to her. And you could tell she got off. She was kind enough because they could have had to get cops to remove her. She was kind enough to get off because she was like, you know what, I did it for the other passengers, even though they gave somebody else my seat. That man that they gave her seat to should have got off. That's my opinion. And you could tell she had tears in her eyes and she was being calm. So they were straight up messy. And in my opinion, they need to give her more than she was going to give her. Okay. My screen keeps shifting around. Who did not speak yet?
That's not. You didn't speak to me yet, Diva.
Okay. E, did I speak to you?
No.
Let me
Oh,
go
I'm
back.
sorry. You can go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
don't worry, Dustin. I'm gonna come back down to that row. Go ahead, E.
So Savannah is right. If you have a disability or restriction which would prohibit you from opening that emergency door, they do have to move you. And I don't mean off the plane either. Further up front.
Oh, wait, hold on, E. Let me just say this. That was not her original seat. They wanted to move her to that seat in the emergency row because because there's more leg room there. They still wanted to take her extra seat. She the one that said,
unacceptable.
she the one that said I cannot be in that role because even my ticket says disabled. And of course, if there's an emergency, who am I going to help and I'm disabled?
All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
So I agree. But the problem I still see here is lack of leadership. And don't get me wrong, I was going to say that what's her name? That Peppa was wrong for that whole seating thing. It's still their responsibility to make sure that she has 2 seats. But the problem I see is lack of leadership. The male who we saw in the video asked Sandra to deboard the plane, and she willingly complied. Now, I kept hearing you say that she had tears in her eyes. And so I must infer that she was holding in that anger and trying to keep that other side of her contained to prevent matters from escalating more. So the tears in the eyes, woman to woman, I understand she's exercising some restraint here. But once off the plane, she questioned him. Why am I being kicked off? She had every right to do that. And normally I am not for the recording of people, but in this instance, I am going to make an exception because the fact of the matter is she had every reason to record their interaction because she was being mishandled. Her concerns were not being heard, and her questions were not being answered. She is listening to everything they have to say to her. Every direction they gave to her, she complied with, and they were not bestowing upon her the same courtesy and respect, and that is the issue. So when the manager walked by and she did not attempt to de-escalate the situation, that's when my head was spinning around and around. Because before my HR days, I worked in leadership and I managed a team of 60 plus employees. And my specialty is customer service. And that didn't take place on the video that we just saw. Had that been me, I would have calmed Sandra down so fast and said, ma'am, I apologize for the inconvenience this must be causing you. And I understand that you are enduring a knee injury. So I don't want to keep you standing up longer than necessary. Will you please put down the phone so we can work this out together? I am here to help you. And my number one priority is to make sure I get you back on this plane and off where you need to go. You are my number one priority. I promise you, had that been me, in that position of leadership, approaching Sandra with open arms, an open heart, and an open ear, this bad publicity would have never touched my team, period. So I know we like to stay clear of color and gender, but I'm going to say it. It's because she's Black and she's a woman, and these two people who are handling this situation do not care what a salt or pepper is. They have no customer service, no empathy, and no skills in de-escalating. And their main priority, because this is Southwest here, they are trying to get the plane boarded and get it off. It's like a machine. So the people, you're just a number. So you're not getting that same customer service that I am accustomed to when I fly Delta. And so it's unfortunate. But I do feel like when you are in a position of leadership and you understand that you are working for an airline company that is likened to a McDonald's where we get them in and get them out, sometimes you have to slow down and think about the people. Sometimes you do have to say, I do apologize for that. Let's see how we can handle this. 3 extra minutes to hear Sandra out and then put her back on the plane and get her back in the seat, that would have solved all of this. And everybody, the video never would have been posted. You're walking by trying to hide your face. It's too late. We see you already. You did not have to. This could have all been handled differently is my entire point, but that's all I wanted to say. You're on mute, Diva.
Thank you.
But I want to say, when you work with people, you got to care about people.
That's facts. That's facts. E. I appreciate you. Listen, guys, my screen shifted. Bear with me. I'm gonna get to everybody. Dustin, you're up.
I just want to say that I'm in a wheelchair. I have a disability, so if I was to fly, I wouldn't fly with these people, and I think I wouldn't even fly. Period, because I have certain people who I am comfortable with, and my best friend is a person of color, Diva, as you know, and I feel the most comfortable with him as well. So it doesn't matter to me what you are, Diva. And I said this before. You should have the right to be treated as a regular person anyway, no matter who you are. So I think this lady should have been respected just like everybody else on the panel.
I appreciate you, Dustin. Thank you. Wayne, you're up.
She handled that very professionally. And I worked the gates, and this sounds like a case of CYA. Because I think what happened, usually somebody that has a disability, at least I did, and almost all the other airlines, before they started their boarding process, they asked any passengers disabled, any families traveling with small children, any service members.
You better
they let
talk,
them board
Wayne.
first.
Yes, they do. Come on, talk.
Okay. Then all the rest of the seats are open seats. And if I heard correctly, she didn't really come up in a wheelchair.
She did. So she got assistance with the wheelchair, but I think when they was kicking her off, she just walked off. And part of their problem was that I guess she didn't have the brace on, but once they wanted to talk to her about the seat, they said, because he said something about a cast. And so that's when she pulled the brace out. I guess she must have put it on. And he told her after that, he said, okay, you can have the two seats, only to later come back and say, well, this man going to a funeral needs this seat.
Right. What I was going to say is that why I said it's a CYA, because they assumed, it probably looked like, oh, she's not really disabled. Okay. And then she says she has the ticket that says disabled, and then put her on the exit row. Okay. So I think that's where it may have come into, like, I can't sit on the exit row. And now they have to find her two seats. And the other thing is that, first of all, this is the worst kind of publicity. This is a public relations nightmare for Southwest. Also, usually if the plane is overbooked or if it's full, and say this man came up, the one that said he's going to a funeral.
Right.
Now, when I worked at the airport, and almost all the airlines, when they need to get an extra seat, they'll say, I have a person needs to go to a funeral. Would someone like to volunteer their seat? We can give you a voucher, whatever said number of however much money, or a free ticket or something like that. That's always one of the first options. The first option is not to throw somebody off the plane.
Come on now, you better talk.
Especially not somebody that has disabled. So I think they made the mistake, because that's the FAA violation. You set somebody on the exit row. The first thing when you go back to the exit row, you ask them, are you willing and able to assist during the onboard emergency?
100%.
And if that's the no, immediately you have to get up. It's no, I was joking or I was kidding. No, none of that. Once you say that, you have to get up. But they'll get you in another seat, and then they'll just find somebody that can sit on the exit row. But whatever one of them that was on there, they put the person on there because extra leg room. Well, you can't be disabled and need extra leg room on the exit row. That's not what the exit row is for. It's to be able to open that door, not for somebody to stretch their leg out because they want extra leg room. And the other thing too, I think, which is her prerogative, I think she probably didn't want nobody sitting next to her. That's why you buy two seats. And if she paid $2,500 for a ticket from Las Vegas to Nashville, I just looked up Las Vegas to Nashville on Southwest. The highest ticket I saw was about $800 at the last minute.
Well, I will tell you this, Wayne. It's not like they said, "Oh, you lying about your $2,500." That man walked over there to see about giving her refund.
So
No,
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if she paid $2,500, she got taken.
No, but she got 2 tickets, and I don't know if the 2 tickets were round trip tickets. I don't know. We don't know what it is.
Even a round trip at the last
They
minute.
try to play a diva. That's what Wayne is explaining. They tried to play her. They did.
But okay,
they did.
I'm not saying with that, with the you talking about with the $2,500 though, but you usually purchase ahead of time, unless she came and purchased it that day.
But Diva, that's what I'm
Not
saying.
the $2,500.
Diva,
The
that's
whole
what I'm saying.
process.
I just looked up the
The
fare.
whole process, I do agree they played though, but I'm saying the $2,500. You pay that ahead of time. And you know, unfortunately, with these airlines, you go to buy the ticket on Monday, it might be $50. And when you go Monday night, you go Tuesday morning, now it's $150. You go on Wednesday, now the same ticket is $500. We don't know when her assistant purchased those tickets.
But if that was the case, they would have been a lot less. I looked up tickets for the last minute for today, and they're nowhere near that high.
I hear you. I'm not
and
even.
Southwest doesn't even have first class. There's nothing on Southwest Airlines that a ticket could cost that much.
Right, but they didn't even know who she was. So wherever she purchased the tickets from, that's a whole nother subject in and of itself. She might have got because maybe she didn't go directly through the airline. A lot of times when you go through these third-party sites, you are getting a jacked up price anyway.
But you know what? It could have been included that $2,500. Now she had the pickup service and all that added to that. Okay, maybe $2,500. You know, you go through a travel agency and they book that for you. They book your flight. They
But I
book
don't
your
want to
hotel, all that.
back here with the price of her ticket because listen, her claim was $2,500 for the ticket, $500 for some car service, and $400 for some something else, right? But I know when she directly said to the agent about my $2,500 back, he went and was going to the computer like he was about to try to give her a refund. But that to me is a side subject because the way they treated her was messy. But I do hear.
Oh, it was, yeah, because and that's unusual for Southwest. You know, that's unusual for Southwest. And when you watch the Southwest, the flight, that series on A&E, they act just like E was saying, you know, on the worst of passengers. So and like you say, this will be their worst. That lady who didn't want to show her face and didn't show no kind of customer service, it's done because that's not the Southwest way.
Yeah. Okay. Who did I skip? Who did not speak on that subject yet? Go ahead, Felicia.
I just wanted to add here that I don't think the issue was all of that. I think it's the person who wanted that seat, because that person could have sat in the exit row. Did something else here. This is not somebody bought 2 seats. You get no. That person who was coming on was probably an executive with Southwest, or he had some kind of priority flying, and he wanted to board that flight in that row. He didn't want an exit seat. He didn't want to be in the back. He didn't want to sit with the pilot. He wanted those seats, and she was going to have to give them up.
I can roll with that.
And she did.
Right. I can roll
and I can too. I concur, Diva. I concur, Felicia. Yep. It was about the person
he didn't get off the flight,
that
right?
was trying to take that
They didn't
seat.
take him off.
Yeah.
They did not. And she was saying that too. She said she put somebody on to take my seat. She said he's still on the plane and they took me off.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, no, I come on now. You better talk to the people.
He could have sat in the exit row. He could have sat in the exit row.
That part.
If she could sit with a bum leg, he could sit. I don't care if he's 85. He could have sat.
Right. And I don't know if I thought I did this story, but I might not have. There was a young lady, I know I saw the story. This was a couple weeks ago. She thought she was being funny and cute playing games. She was in the exit row. And like Wayne said, they do ask you when you're in that row, are you okay if something goes down that you're going to help people? And you got to say yes. If you want to play games and say no, they're going to say you got to move. She was playing games. She was a grown woman with her kids, and she ended up getting arrested. Y'all can look this up. She wanted to play games and say no. Then she wanted to joke around and say, no, I said yes. And they was like, no, you said no. They tried to move her anyway. She got cleaned up, locked up, because she thought it was a joke in the game. And then once they came to get her off that plane, she was like, what did I do? What happened? Locked her up. You saw that story. Come on, Savannah. So that exit row is not a joke. And Peppa was right. How I'm going to have disabled on my ticket, you going to put me in emergency row. So that's why I'm clicking with you, Felicia. It was somebody of importance that said, I'm getting on this plane. And she knew it was a scam. That's why she told the man, swear you going to a funeral. Messy. Who did I skip? All right, everybody went on this story. Let me roll into this last story really quickly. This is sad. I feel for this young lady, and the violence that is going on today is just too darn much. My thing clicked out. I do want to see something here. I'm going to have to try to go back and find it again, but while y'all talking, I'll go back and find it. So a local rapper was pow during a meet and greet at a grand opening of a beauty store in Oakland, California. A female rapper was unalived in a shooting in Oakland on Saturday afternoon. During the grand opening of a beauty store, another person was injured. The Oakland Police Department says they are still working to identify the person that did it. Somebody just told me in the chat that they said it was her ex-boyfriend that possibly did this. Family and friends gathered outside Glamour Beauty Supply in Oakland on Sunday. Many were in tears as they played tribute to local female rapper and entrepreneur DaGod. They confirmed on the news that she was pow and killed at the grand opening event for the beauty store on Saturday. Tan posted on Instagram and her nearly 20,000 followers just before the situation. Tan also promised the event a week before, saying she would be at Glamour Beauty for a meet and greet. Pow rang out in the strip mall on 40th Street and Telegraph Avenue around 5 p.m. People ran into the donut shop to take cover. Okay, a man who works there did not want to be identified, described the chaotic scene. He said, I heard some pows. I thought it was part of their music, he said. Oakland police said when they arrived, paramedics found one gunshot victim who died at the hospital. Another gunshot victim arrived at a nearby hospital sometime later. Police say the person is expected to be okay. They are still working to identify the person that did this. As of Sunday evening, no arrests were made. A man who works at a Korean restaurant nearby witnessed what happened. Bay rapper and philanthropist Mr. FAB posted about what happened, saying he was booked for that same event, but God had different plans. He also posted saying he will remember Tan as a hustling go-getter with a world of ambition, drive, and courage. This is just so sad that this happened to her. Let me just because I want to see if I can show you the actual clip here. Hold on one second. Let's just let this commercial run through. It's just the violence that goes on these days. When I was listening to the story, I was like, this just doesn't seem random. I mean, who would do this to her? But you never know. But as I said, someone in the chat, as we was doing one of the other stories, did say that they really think that it was an ex-boyfriend that did this. I don't understand people.
A female rapper was killed in a shooting in Oakland. This was Saturday during the grand opening of a beauty store. Another person was injured. Police are still trying to find the shooter. Cronford's Sarah Stinson has that story.
Family and friends gathered outside Glamour Beauty Supply in Oakland Sunday, many in tears as they paid tribute to local female rapper and entrepreneur DaGod. They confirmed to Cron 4 she was shot and killed at a grand opening event for the beauty store Saturday. Tan posted on Instagram just before the shooting.
Here, I got Granny in the cut, don't play with it.
She also promoted the event a week before, saying she would be at Glamour Beauty for a meet and greet. Shots rang out at the strip mall on 40th Street and Telegraph Avenue around 5 p.m. People ran into this donut shop to take cover.
I heard some shooting. I thought it was part of like their music or...
A man who works there who does not want to be identified described the chaotic scene.
I just saw like 2 or 3 people start running into my store and like, you know, they're shooting. And people started pulling out of the parking lot and people were just running around. So, and as soon as I stepped outside, the cops were pretty much already here.
Oakland police say when they arrived, paramedics found one gunshot victim who died at the hospital. Another gunshot victim arrived at a nearby hospital sometime later. Police say that person is expected to be okay. They're still working to identify the shooter. No arrests have been made. A man who works at a Korean restaurant nearby witnessed the shooting.
Just this guy with the hoodie came by and started shooting. And that was it. And he just ran away. The police came.
Bay Area rapper and philanthropist Mr. Fab posted about the shooting, saying he was booked to be at the same event, but, quote, God had different plans. He also posted saying he would always remember Tan as a hustling go-getter with a world of ambition, drive, and courage. I'm Sarah Stinson reporting in Oakland, Cron 4 News.
Girls, meet tonight. Ay, ay, ay. How sad is this, Leo?
It's really, really sad. You know, my condolences go out to her family. May her memory be a blessing. And I'm really am siding on the fact that it probably was some DV, because I don't think it was linked to the industry. I think it was linked to something personal that was going on in her life. And I'm a quote this that I've been hearing a lot in the past 2 or 3 years. It's dangerous to be a rapper. It is dangerous to be a rapper. Fools come out, past fools you got beef with, past domestic partners that you got beef with. It's all advertised where you gonna be at, and whomever want to come out and seek revenge got a whole poster board for where you fitting to be at. And so it's sad. It is really the part where I divulge into a place that I don't have an answer to is how come, well, we got a problem. We go to the pow. Like that, in my old age, being over half a century old, that part right there is just, it is just not conclusive for resolving a problem. You create a bigger problem. I don't know if this young lady has children, but I'm quite sure she has family, a mother, perhaps a father, siblings, cousins. All these people are going to get affected by temporary emotions where you create permanent problems.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
So it is to me, I don't know how to solve it, but I do know that conflict resolution does not come at the hand of a pow. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what's going on.
Yeah.
Your job, your relationship, your friendship, your business partner. I don't care what's going on at the hands of a pow. You have not resolved an issue. Temporary emotions create permanent problems.
I love that.
You can't bring people back. When it's good, when it's done.
Yeah, facts. I appreciate you. Thank you, Leo. Felicia, you're up.
My condolences to the family.
Yeah.
You know, often you hear people say, oh, that person was so full of joy in life. Well, that's what I just heard in that little 2-second bite. She was happy. She was happy. And they come and they steal her joy. And they break her family's heart. My sister's in the back row. Stay away from these people out here who don't mean you good. Who don't mean you well. Who aren't really happy for you. I'm sorry. I'm done, Diva.
I appreciate you. Katrina, you're up.
Again, condolences to the family. And people got to realize Satan don't sit down there all by himself. He got plenty of demons walking around. And don't ever let your ops know where you are, even though I know she was doing a meet and greet, trying to make money, do whatsoever. But that's how a lot of them get taken out. They see where they at, and they come by and do a hit on them. Hopefully her family will get some justice, and I hope their heart is lightened. And whoever did it, I hope they get caught and they just do. That's all I got, Diva.
I appreciate you. Tay, you're up.
Condolences to the family who lost their loved ones over because of what? Probably a jealousy ex-boyfriend who is jealous because she made more money better than he did. Because she was hustling, she was trying to make sure she get out the hood every day to make a good living for her life. Or it's probably his people who did that too. We never know that, Diva. We never know. It's probably the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend, or his people do that. We never know. Hopefully there'll be some justice for that right there too. And make that girl, may her soul be in rest in peace and paradise, because her justice will come. All I said, this person who papa her, you go get yours. Karma's coming for you. Don't let them. Yeah, it's coming for you. You can't. All that saying this right here, you get high, but one way or another, they're gonna get you. That's all, Diva.
Thank you so much. Wayne, you're up.
Yeah, it's just sad to see violence like this at all, and especially somebody who's enjoying life and plan to see their, 100 years ahead, just living life, and it's just chopped away in a second. When you see the person, I guess minutes before whatever, full of joy and everything, it's just don't seem like it's possible that it could be gone just like that. So all I can say is rest in peace and condolences to her family.
Okay, thank you, Wayne. You're up.
I just want to say condolences to the family.
Yeah, appreciate you, E. Savannah, you're up.
These acts of violence, they hold the victims, the families, friends, and even entire neighborhoods and communities hostage, causing um, paralyzing fear, because we if we don't feel safe in our own neighborhoods, then it has long lasting effects on our psyche. And these acts of violence are everyone's business. It just doesn't affect that small pocket, because it has a lasting effect on what violence does to our community. So it's unfortunate, these young um, people. It just seems like we're living in such dark times, and I pray that they can heal and something good comes out of this community.
I hope so too, y'all. Thank you. Who told me that? Natasha. I did not know this. But I did Google it, and you are correct. Not saying that this is right, but she said that DaGod, so Bay rapper DaGod, who made a mixtape about unaliving her ex last year, was fatally pow-powed on Saturday. It took place during the grand opening of the Glamour Beauty Supply in Oakland, California. Another person was injured in that situation. That adds a whole nother layer to this situation.
Was it self-defense?
I don't know. But and you know though, Felicia, I would say even if it was self-defense, to make a mixtape about it, I don't know. I mean, in self-defense or not, I wouldn't be making a tape about me doing that to another person. This is layered. Julius, you're up.
So my condolences go out to this person's family. I want to start off with that. And as I've always said, I've lost family members who I love to gun violence. I know that pain. And it's unbearable. I know it all too well. Where this person messed up, why would you make a mixtape? Why would you make a mixtape? That's my thing. So that's going to make people think, oh, you going around bragging for so-and-so, so we going to come and get you. Why would you make a mixtape? I want so bad to take the same route as Miss Felicia and say self-defense. I want to. But you come out with a mixtape like that, you're setting yourself up. Stop. Again, my heart goes out to the family. The violence needs to come to an end. If you have beef with people, go to the gym, get in the boxing ring, duke it out, and call it a day. You both can go home to your families and be done. That's it. The pow-pow is not, and I'm sorry, I should have said pow-pow earlier when I started my statement. I just caught myself. The pow-pow is not the answer. It will only cause more pain. Stop it.
Yeah. Thank you, Julius. Dustin, you're up.
David, this is a very emotional statement, but I'm going to make a statement real quick. I wouldn't allow anything to happen to any one of my best friends. It don't matter who you are. If anything happens to one of my best friends, I'm not going to say the name on here. There's something that's definitely going to change my life. Going to change my life very much because I'm very close to one of my best friends, and as you know, you know who it is, Diva.
Oh,
yeah. And as you know who it is, and that would change my life if something happened to him. So I imagine if something happened to him, you guys won't be seeing me on the panel because I would be distraught if something happened to him.
I appreciate you, Dustin. All right, everybody. I'm in overtime. It looks like my feel good story kind of clicked out of my screen, so I don't want to hold everybody up trying to dig it back up. We'll make sure we have another feel good story and tomorrow's trending topic in live. This is a layered situation. It's very sad. You know, like Leo said, this is a situation when you have these pals. Is never going to end well because especially in this rap game, it seems like retaliation will always happen. It will always happen. It reminds me back of, you know, with Biggie and Tupac, right? Retaliation seems like it's always going to happen, and it's just so sad. Listen, guys, prayers out to all involved and all the lives lost, and even the people that got hurt at this situation. All I can say is, everybody, be careful out there. Listen, thanks for being here tonight. Spending time with me on this Monday night for Trending Topics. Hope to see y'all the rest of the week. Y'all know the routine. If y'all ain't hit the like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody. And let's say prayers for the family and on all of these particular situations. Thanks for being here. Bye, everybody.
Prayers for the